Hey everybody, it's Sean here in the Reptile room. Today I'm going to show you something a little different than we normally do. We try to focus in on training our animals whenever we get a chance, and we fully encourage that if you have an animal at home that you try to go ahead and train them as well. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how to train a large lizard, and I'll be working with Barnaby, who's our red Tegu. Now before we get started, there's a few terms I'm going to go over. First is cue. That is a signal to the animal to let them know that we're going to be doing some type of training with them. So Barnaby's cue is going to be that I'm going to knock on his cage. Now next I have my training pole with a target on the end of it with a clicker glued to it. So what this does is I have Barnaby touch his nose to the end of it. If he does that without biting it, I hit the clicker. That's a bridge. That tells him that he did something correct. I hide this immediately and then I offer him up food. So his food rewards today are going to be cockroaches, with his jackpot being a quail egg. Now, rewards are just the thing that you give him for touching the target each time. And then the jackpot is something you give him at the end when he's done all the steps correctly. So we've done a few sessions with him. I just held up the training ball so he already sees it, so he knows something's going on. Smarter animals pick up on this very quickly. We tend to do it with monitors and tegus. You can also do it with bearded dragons, leopard geckos. You can even do it with snakes and turtles. Depending on the animal, it does take them a longer time to pick up on it, but training is a very useful tool because it gets the animal to associate the tongs or the feeding target as a way of getting food rather than your hands. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and prop my camera up, and we're going to get started here. So you see I have Barnaby already ready there. I'm going to go ahead and give him his cue, which is I knock on his cage 2 times. He's now present and ready, and he's waiting for us to come through. So I'm going to go ahead and get my food ready and have it on a set of tongs. And then I'm going to get my target out while hiding the food so he doesn't see the food first. So I hold this up, I have him come out, and I let him make his way to the target first. I don't ever force my way into it. Now, as you can see, he's curious. He's flicking his tongue out towards it. He understands that this is going to mean a food reward. And sometimes we're in the beginning stages of training. What we do is we kind of put it near him, and if it slightly touches him, we click, and then we give him food. So now he can associate touching the end of this as getting the cockroaches. So after we've done that once or twice, he normally picks up on it much faster. There you go. Now, any animal is going to be weary of a foreign object coming into their enclosure, but once again, once you start making this a positive association, he'll willingly start coming up and touching it without me having to do anything. Once we get him fully associated with it, he will eventually be able to target him to different areas, which means once he's used to this, I can move it all around the enclosure and make him come towards it. And eventually when he gets to that point, I'll build him a ladder that comes down. He'll learn to use the ladder to come out on his own. And he's picking up on it very nicely. With his age, being that he's a juvenile, he is a little weary of things, and he's trying to become territorial. So this is one of the reasons we're working with him on training, is that way we don't have to worry about him tail whipping, hissing, or even possibly biting. This becomes him associating the tongs and the feeding pole as a feeding mechanism and not us. And then training sessions can be anywhere from 15 seconds to 15 minutes. What we always want to do is end it on a positive association. If your animal starts getting frustrated and you start getting frustrated, that's a negative feedback loop that you feed off of one another with. So we never try to end it on negative, we try to end it on a positive. And since he's doing so well and he already took a few pieces of food, I'm going to do one more training target, and I'm going to give him his jackpot, which is a quail egg. Because right now he's already looking for it, which is a good sign. Come down. There you go. Good boy.
Oh my gosh, look at that barrel.
And there he gets his egg. So that's training. And again, you can do that with any lizard. Something as simple as a leopard gecko, a bearded dragon. Even our smaller brained ones can figure stuff out like that. And at that point, we call that conditioning. So with our dart frogs and our smaller lizards, we spray the enclosure first, then we dump food in. They make that association that rainfall means food is going to come to them. And so once you can have an animal associate those type of things, you've already operate conditioned them, then you can start to make it into a training mechanism. Which again, just a target ball, stick, a clicker, and tongs, that's all you need, and you get them trained all on their own. So, if you guys end up with any questions about training whatsoever, feel free to message the reptile department or come and see me. I used to train Komodos, Crocs, and Gators for a living, so I can give you any tips that you need on how to train your animal. Thanks for watching.